Alright, Shalom Israel, this is Shema Yawan. I'm just going to do a quick flick on a learning class on the beard. Okay, is it lawful for a man to wear a beard? And the verdict is yes, it is lawful for a man to wear a beard. Okay, there's a lot of Israelites who cannot grow beards, but if they could grow beards, it's a lawful thing to do. Okay, so let's go into the scriptures. I just want to bring this out. This is a topic that we've touched on many a times, but for you Israelites out there who are just coming into the truth, maybe this is something that'll help you. All right, so we're going to go into Leviticus 19:27, and I'm just using the app or program on the computer called the Blue Letter Bible. And this is Leviticus 19:27. It says, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard." So when you see "ye shall not round," that means you shall not destroy the corners of your heads. So I'm going to click on Leviticus 19:27 here. It's going to take us into the Hebrew, and this is going into the Strong's Concordance. As you see here, it says "you shall not round." I'm going to click here. H5362 is the Strong's Concordance number. And Nakaf. Okay? It's a primitive root word. And as we look at this, it says the King James Version translates Strong's H5362 in the following manner: compass, go roundabout, go about, compass about, destroy. So that's what that round means. It means to destroy. Okay, so when you tear off the corners of your beard, all right, it means to violently destroy the hairs on your face. Okay, let's go to another verse. I want to go to Leviticus 21. And let's see what it comes up with. It's Leviticus 21. And let's go to the 5th verse. This is kind of basic, but I'm just going to bring it out. It should take me about 10 minutes. It says, "They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh." Okay, so basically we're not supposed to shave off the corner of our beards. When it says "nor make any cuttings in the flesh," this is what the heathens were doing. Okay, when they would praise their gods, they would make cuttings in their flesh. All right, this is where the tattoos comes involved. All right, you see many people, when people die in their family, they'll carve tattoos into their skin. Okay, which is unlawful to do such things. We're going to go to Isaiah 15. Isaiah 15:2. It says, "He has gone up to Bayath and to Dibon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off." So when you look at the heathens, when they would mourn their gods, they would cut off their hair. Okay, as you see today, many of them have bald heads. The monks, the Buddhist monks, they're bald. They don't grow any hair. All right, so this is for Israel. This was unlawful. Let me find another one. Let's go to Jeremiah. And this is just something that I wanted to make sure was helpful for Israel to see, that every word of the Bible is true. And if we're going to do righteousness, we got to follow what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 47. And let's go to the 4th verse. "Because of that day, or because of the day that cometh to spoil at all the Philistines, and to cut off from Tyrus and Zidon every helper that remaineth," these are Hamites, For the Most High will spoil the Philistines. This is who Goliath came out of, the Philistines. The remnant of the country of Caphtor. Right? It was a city state for one of the cities of Ham. Jeremiah 47:5, it says, baldness is come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cut off with the remnant of their valley. How long wilt thou cut thyself? Right? See, so they were cutting themselves. Alright, so we are not supposed to destroy anything or cut ourselves in the ways of the heathen. Alright, let's go to one more verse. That one to strike it home so you can see what I'm saying. Ezekiel. We'll go to Ezekiel 7. Ezekiel 7, and let's drop down to about the 18th verse. Ezekiel 7 and 18, it says, they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. So this is what the heathens did. This is what they did when they mourned. Also, Israel did the same thing when we would mourn. We would shave off our heads, throw sackcloth on us, throw ashes on ourselves. Okay? So let's go back into the hardness of the scriptures, or the softness of the scriptures for Israel. And I want to go to Deuteronomy, and I want to go to 12. So Deuteronomy 12, and let's drop down to the 30th verse. Alright, Deuteronomy 12 and 30, it says, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that they be destroyed from before you. And that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? And that's what Israel likes to do. They like to inquire how they serve their gods and how they got blessed by their gods. Okay, so it says, even so will I do likewise. So Israel are known for forgetting their God. The Most High likens Israel to an ox and the ass who does not know their gods. So Israel likes to follow the other nations. All right, when you saw when you see a lot of the characters on TV in Hollywood, a lot of the black characters, like Eddie Murphy, Golden Child, he's following the Golden Child's God, right? When you see Bruce Leroy from Return of the Dragon, or whatever that movie was called, with Vanity in it, he thought that he was Bruce Lee. He was worshiping a false god too, all right? The Buddhist god. So our God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he has strict rules and a foundation that we must follow. All right, so let's go to, so he's telling us, do not follow the ways of the heathen. And let me get Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah chapter 10, as we read here, it says, thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. See? So this is another thing. We are not supposed to follow the ways of the heathen because it destroys us. I read to 5. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cut off a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Let's drop down. So I mean, when you read all the way through 5, it's talking about the Christmas tree. But basically, when it says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So they're dismayed at all the different things that are on the earth. All right, and they try to resemble it. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 12, where we were. 12, and let's go to the 4th verse. It says, ye shall not do so unto the Most High your power. Okay, so the Most High do not want us to seek the habitation of the heathens. Okay, period. Why? Because it's sinful. It causes us to fall into sin. Alright, let's go to 1 John 3. 1 John chapter 3, and let's go to verse 4. All of you pretty much know this verse. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. Okay, so the law is light. The light is going to show us how to follow the Most High in perfectness, in pureness. Okay, and the law, which we read in Leviticus 19:27, still stands. Okay, all of you brothers who are teachers in this law, in this truth, you are to grow a beard. Okay, all of Israel were supposed to grow beards. Okay. Let's look at the prophecy of Hamashiach Yahushai. Let's go to Isaiah 50. And when we read Isaiah 50, this is a prophecy that happened to Yahushai, right? Because even our Christ, which is really Hamashiach, the Messiah, okay, he wore a beard. So when we see Isaiah 50 and 2, it says, Isaiah, let's go to the 6th verse. It says, I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting. Why did he hold not his face from shame? Because his hair was being plucked off, right? He's looking different. When your hair get plucked out, it doesn't look natural to have holes in your beard. So he says, I hid not my face from shame and spitting, right? Because they were spitting on him. Remember when he was getting beat by the soldiers and then the people? And then, when he got thrown on the cross, they were spitting on him. Okay, so let's look at another verse. Let's get a clear verse. Because, not only was it a law, but it was also a shame thing to actually have your beard ripped off your face. And what we're going to do is go to 2 Samuel chapter 10. And we're going to drop down to 4. This is King David's men, his soldiers, returning from the army with the Philistines. So we're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 10, verse 4. It says, Wherefore Hanun took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards. So they wore beards. Soldiers wore beards. Okay, so when they wore beards, when they got caught as spies, Hanun, the Hamite, cut off or shaved off half of their beards and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. Look at verse 5. It says, When they told it unto David, he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. So in this particular verse, King David acknowledges that they look crazy with their beards half cut off. So he told them to stay outside the city until it grows back, basically. Okay, because why? Because it was a shame to go around the city with their faces half shaved by who? The enemy. It was showing that they fell, right? And that's a disgrace to our people. And, let's go to something that helps uplift us. Let's go to Psalms. Psalms 133. Let's go to the 2nd verse, and it reads, It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments. So here we have a Levitical priest, Aaron, who was an outstanding priest, who had a beard. And his beard was long, and when they poured the ointment, it ran all the way down his head through his beard. If any of you brothers ever been anointed with oil and you got a lot of hair, it feels good going down your hair and down your beard. Well, it went down his beard, and this was a blessing. This is even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garments. So he had a long beard. All right. So our people got to understand that beards were a lawful thing to wear. And what good is a man who cannot grow a beard? All right, that's the only thing that really visually, when you look at a man, woman, and a little boy, that's really what sets him apart, him having a beard. In this society today, they tell you to cut off your beard. Having no beard is in. It's a really feminine movement that's been in the earth for 100 years or so. But prior to that, when you look at the forefathers of even this country of America, the men here wore their beards. All the soldiers, Robert E. Lee and great soldiers of the Edomite kingdoms, they wore beards. Okay? Our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the slaves of America, they wore beards. Okay? So it's good that we understand if we are going to be prophets and servants of the Most High, it's time for us to represent Him. Okay? Let's go to one more verse. Let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 1 and 13. So Revelation 1 and 13. It says, "And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot." Because Aaron also had a garment down to the foot, right? "And girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire." Now, when we read about Aaron in Psalms 133, his garment went down to the foot. So here is Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world calls Christ, doing the same thing that the Levitical priest did, had his garment down to the foot. And his head and his hairs were white like wool. Now, his head, we know what his head is, and his hairs were white like wool. So his whole head, when you think of head, think of the whole entire head. And what was around his whole entire head? Hairs. Alright, so he had a beard, and he also had a fro. Because it says of the pure wool, white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. So we know that Christ, Yahushua, Hamashiach, had a beard. So it's good that we wear our beards. So yes, it is lawful to wear a beard. Okay? And those for you who work in this society in captivity, if you are working and it is a place where they tell you to cut your beard off, work there for a while and then ask them, can you wear a beard because of your hygiene or because your face bumps up? Just tell them, hey, I have to medically wear my beard. Okay? But try to wear your beard, brothers. That's the way of the Spirit, to wear your beard. And with that, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to say shalom to all of Yashala.
Of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.